What is up, everybody? It's Reverse TV here today. So we're gonna talk about Square Enix and their recent game Guardians of the Galaxy, which didn't do that well in sales. I was definitely shocked by this news right here. I thought the game did very well, seeing how much the internet praised this game. I thought the game was extremely great as well, but it's like they didn't do too well in sales. Like they expected it to reach a higher sales caliber. So this is what this post actually says. It says from Square Enix recent Q3 financial result briefing. Guardians of the Galaxy didn't meet initial sales expectations. Recent sales initiatives are helping though. Final Fantasy 14 has experienced substantial growth, while multiple new titles are planned for Q4. So the main point we want to touch on is that Guardians of the Galaxy didn't meet initial sales expectations. So they wanted this game to sell more than it did, which is quite shocking. It's like, I don't know how much this game sold or how much they expected to sell, but that is pretty crazy because this is actually a fantastic game right here. I wish this game would have sold more because this game needs to sell more. It's a fantastic game, which I would love to get a sequel to. So that is quite telling. Like an actual good superhero game, people just didn't buy it. I guess enough people didn't buy it, or whatever. What's the issue here? But this is pretty sad to see. This is pretty sad news right here because I definitely want to see a sequel to this game. People even say the game was better than the movies actually, which is debatable. Like I don't know if I liked it more than the movies, but the game was definitely a great game. I had a lot of fun playing it, but yeah, like how much like this is not the first time I'm hearing something like this, hearing about something like this with their games too. Like I believe like the one of the Tomb Raider games or multiple Tomb Raider games didn't reach their sales expectations that Square Enix had planned for those games. So it's not a good look if these great games are not reaching sales expectations, and because they might not get another go around with this series. So definitely disappointed. But let's see what people have to say about this news right here. This guy says, I am very shocked Guardians didn't meet sales expectations. It's a great game. Definitely agree. I think people were scared after getting burned on Avengers. It's a shame. I am super curious what Square Enix expectations with some of these titles. Never can forget when they called Tomb Raider a failure when it sold over 3.4 million in the first month. And that was still below their initial expectation. That is crazy. Yeah. For games selling 3.4 million isn't impressive. That's pretty wild. I wonder if the casual audience became scared after the Avengers game disaster. It looks similar enough to confuse Guardians with Avengers to uninformed customers. Yeah, and that Guardians of the Galaxy game was light years better than Avengers. So that's just wow. It's just very disappointing. Final Fantasy 14 and Yoshi P are keeping Square Enix afloat financially. Hopefully, Guardian sales go with word of mouth. Even I didn't get it at launch. That's how much they messed with the marketing to an amazing game. Deus Ex is back on the menu. I'm guessing they just forgot that part. Dear Square Enix, just say your Western division of Microsoft. Yeah, no lie. I kind of wish Square Enix just sold their company off to either Sony or Microsoft. Because I'd rather them just make some like I don't want this game to be canceled. I'd rather them just sell their company off to one of these big publishers, one of these big people like Microsoft or Sony. Just so these games can continue being made, because how are you not being profitable with Tomb Raider and like this new Guardians of the Galaxy game? That's just something's not going on with something's not going right. So I kind of wish they would sell themselves off too, but who knows? Remember Square claimed and said Tomb Raider reboot flopped and sold 6 million copies. LMAO. Guardian slaps, so I hope they don't take this as a sign that they should make more games like Avengers. Yeah, they can skip that Avengers. The story mode for Avengers was great, but that whole everything else about it was kind of terrible. So yeah, and I wasn't really liking that game too much. Nothing ever meets Square Enix initial sales expectations. That is kind of true. Like I haven't seen any game they've recently been happy about sales wise, besides like Final Fantasy 14. Didn't meet sales expectations. Knowing Square, those expectations were probably like 6 million in the first 3 months. Jesus, this game better get a sequel regardless of their unrealistic sales expectations. They're lucky to get that what they got after they messed up the Avengers game to the degree they did. Can't wait for the statement under a month's time saying Guardians of the Galaxy was a failure, and they blame idols. Guardians of the Galaxy deserved a lot of love. It was a fantastic game, and I hope it gets a sequel. Guardians was fantastic. I hope they don't consider it a failure. I'd take a single-player story-driven game over the Avengers Live Service garbage any day. Definitely agree with that. That game was fantastic. I don't think it had no microtransactions in that game either. That's the other thing about it too. No microtransactions. It was definitely a fantastic game. Guardians was the most fun I had with a AAA game all year. Um, Making me glad IO Interactive and Square Enix parted ways. Hitman is better off without Square Enix. Deus Ex was not so lucky. Here we go again with Square Enix and expectations. I wanted Guardians to do well. Yeah, I think we were always rooting for that game to do very well on sales wise. Like I'm a person, I don't really care about sales of a game, but now it gets to the point where if it's like it's not reaching expectations, we might not get a sequel. That's when the sales kind of matter, in my opinion. When they're on the chopping block for getting a sequel or not. So this is not a good look right here. The quality of Marvel's Avengers cast a long shadow. Currently playing Guardians, honestly so good, great narrative and writing. They missed the mark with marketing on this. We strongly recommend people pick up and play. I only got to do the word of mouth. Yeah, this game is definitely a gem out there. It's definitely one of the great games of this generation. Square Enix should let idols go to someone else. A shame, it was such a good game. I swear, every time I hear a dope game from Square, it's always something about it not beating sales expectations. Yeah, it's kind of wild on their side how these games just don't be performing that well. Or maybe the expectations are just way through the roof. It's either one or the other. Expectations are way through the roof, or they're just not selling that well at all. Guardians of the Galaxy is an amazing game. Yeah, it's a pretty much general consensus that this game was a great game, so it was definitely sad to hear this news like this. It's kind of hard to meet set expectations when you want everything to perform as well as Final Fantasy. Does anything ever meet Square Enix expectations? Guardians of the Galaxy was surprisingly great. If you haven't checked it out because you were scared off by another Square Enix team-focused Marvel game based heavily around the movies, then shall go nameless. He's always referring to the Avengers game. That's obvious. Then give it a shot. Okay. What does it take to meet Square Enix's ridiculous sales expectations? What is the number? I swear if it's not Final Fantasy, any game they make doesn't meet expectations. It's not surprising that Guardians didn't meet sales expectations, but it's a little sad this game was so effing good. That budget increase of Final Fantasy, 14, going into the next 10 years of content is going to be insane. Yeah. Yes, I'm gonna include it right here. He's like he says, F, this definitely means we're not getting a sequel. It's not confirmed yet, but if it was like it is looking kind of rough. It's kind of looking like if he was gonna get a sequel on this, but that definitely sucks. Like this game was fantastic. Most people say this is probably one of the better superhero games of this generation. Probably even better than the Sony's exclusive Spider-Man game. Some people can argue that, or the Batman Arkham games. So. Probably not as good as the Batman Arkham games, but it was a good game. I won't go that far, but definitely was a good game in a superhero license of game. So very disappointing. It's not. It's iffy if it's gonna be a sequel or not. But yeah, that kind of sucks. But hopefully, I guess you could say hopefully it does more. I don't know. I don't know what they can do at this point. Just try to people buy it more. I guess I don't know. But definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this. Leave a like if you like this video. As always, thanks for watching and peace.